everybody, and I hope everybody's doing well. Looking forward to this new year. I hope everybody else is too. So, I have another little fun projects I've been working on. This is just some little, these I already had. They've just been kind of sitting around for a while. The journals themselves, I just had to put something on them. And so I got those done, and then while I was doing all the blank journals, I decided to make the little journal here. So this will have images in it. So I'm going to start with the little ones and then end with the vintage book here. This is like an old arithmetic book. So that's what I used there. And its cover was in awful shape. I actually had to make a spine for it. Because of it just falling apart. So, but it is super fun. So I'm going to start with this. I love these snow images. I have them. Most of these are just Pinterest images, just some old winter pictures. And I absolutely just fell in love with these. I kind of put a sepia tone to them before I got ready to print them out. Now these little journals here, they're only about a 4x6 or a 4 1/4 by 6, something like that, or 6 1/2. I don't have my ruler, but I have the measurements on Etsy in the little details box there. But I believe it's like 4 by 6 1/2. I think is what they were, but around about that size. This one I have named Snow Days, and it is just all about snow. I just absolutely love this. Left the back blank there. And so I had these old bingo cards, and they were just small bingo cards. I didn't have very many of them. I think I might have just a few left, a couple left or something. But anyway, just super, super cute vintage bingo card. So I decided to sturdy the cover up and put it on the inside, because if I'd have put it on the outside, I would have completely covered the bingo, and it kind of would have lost its purpose. So I put them on the inside, and then I've just got some collaging here. This is the very same image that was on the cover. I just kind of repeated it right there. And this has just got various papers. These are actually some papers that came out of the Hopeful Bird. I have told you about her before. I had some journal, and this is just some of the papers that I didn't use, little bits of paper, cardstock that I didn't use. And so I just made this little journal out of it. So anyway, there's some little parchment paper. I love this image of these little boys on the sled. And then here I have got just another little picture, and I added a little piece of ephemera there, and that's real ephemera, that's not a copy. And then here is just a part of an alteration card that's been stained up that fits in the pocket. I've got little bitter cold. Now the words are from Mrs. Coggs Crafts. So, and then this here, I cannot remember where these came from, but I'll put it in the description box of the video. I cannot remember where I got those from, but they're just some little numbers is what they are. And then here I've just got a vintage flash card. It's just a small one. I've used some of these sepia snowflakes. I do have the sepia in the Etsy shop. She's not really been able to get any white ones done, so things have just keep coming up that just aren't allowing her to get them in there. So what's in there for now is the colors, and I can't remember what all colors is in there, but sepia is one that we still have. And then I've got Even in Winter. This was actually a quote, but all I wanted was part of it to stick out. So I've just done a little collage there with a little fancy stitching. I love this snowman. Absolutely love him. And then here is another little snowman. I just did some collaging. This is on a vintage envelope that I've just split. This is actually an old card. This is just an age spot there. But it's just an old date to remember card that I decided to put in there. And then I have this, this is just an old, it's not old at all, but it's just a little envelope there. And I just added a little tag. I actually cut the tab off of this tag and put it in here. But you could always just add, you know, some different things in there. Would really be fun. Oops, see if I can get this. There we go. And I have just slipped that in there. I actually wanted this peeking out so when it is open you are able to see those numbers there off that envelope. So then I've got another little quote, use some masking tape. There's another one of those little numbers. And like I said, I will put where I got those in the description box since I just can't remember right off. Here I've got another little, this is just like a file card. It's very thick and you could journal on the back. And then added another little photo that I had, them building a little snow fort I thought was cute. And that will just slip behind it there. And then this is just a little flip out. This is some vintage, this is a vintage letter actually. And I have just tore it apart there. That is an actual letter, not a copy. And so I've reinforced it with a little masking tape to keep it from tearing. And I used a little tea bag, a little dyed tea bag there. And then here is another one of the little sepia snowflakes. There, it's fancy stitching, little parchment. And then here is mittens. I've just made a pocket. Here is a part of that vintage ledger. Just a little piece there. And then here is another little photo. Absolutely love these snowmen. And then I have been adding this in the journals this year. I hope to keep these added in here unless I just forget or something happens to my stamp. You'll have this journal created by Susie. Just a little tag. You could always just journal on the back, include it in there. And I had that stamp made from Lorna at Tailor Made Journals. She did a really good job. She made me a couple actually. And then here I've just got a piece of fabric. Here's just a photo I've just attached to the page there. Added a little bit of that vintage looking tape. And still plenty of places to journal even though, it's small. And then here is another little photo that's just super cute. Love how this paper is just torn and tattered there. And then here is the back. And I've used that same bingo card. So there is that. That is the snow days. And just tied with some sari silk. Alright, and then we have our Rustic Winter Journal. Same way, about a 4.5 or 4 by 6.5 or in that area. Alright, and then this was actually a digital from my Porch Prints. I believe it's called Rustic Winter, I think is what it's called. This one I added a little thing on the back where I had cut out a couple little birds on a tree. Just did a little collage there. Just beautiful, beautiful images. And once again, I used the bingo cards in the front and the back there. This is some of the Sondex card that I got from Donna Little. Whoops, piece of trash in there. One of the images with that letter, part of the original letter there, a vintage letter. Here is just an image. You could journal on the back. And in here I have just, what I have done in these little envelopes, I just added a page from the kit, and you can journal all on the back. These are really beautiful winter images, just so darling. And then what I have done is I've just, oops, I think, Oh no, it's not in this one. Never mind. I'm thinking that I had forgot to show you something in the other journal, but I didn't. I think it's in the one to come. So, all right, and there's that. And then I've just added a piece and attached these 2 pages there. It looks like I got a little bit of shadow too. The sun is trying to come out today, and it hasn't been out. It's been kind of nasty and cold out, so. When I'm videoing this now, by the time I get the video uploaded to YouTube, it will probably be a nice day. And here is just one of the images. Absolutely love it, with some vintage, some of that fancy stitching. Of course, did all my stitching in white on this journal. You can kind of see it better on the back side. And then this is just a super cute little bunny here. I love that one. And then I used just an old check here. I put some masking tape to keep it from perforating and splitting. Looks like a First National Bank. And then I kept that on the back there where it had been stamped. Here is a pocket, and I've got a little tag here with little trees, little Christmas trees on it. And then here is a little page that was winter. I thought was cute. You can just journal there on the back. Slips in the pocket. Just added an old piece of ephemera there with a little stamping on it. And then here's just a little collage there for a little tab. And this is another one of the little pieces from the kit. A little red bird, a cardinal. He's so cute. So cute. And he just slips on there. Oops. And then here I just did a tea bag, just a little tea bag and some vintage paper there. A little collage. And then here is another sheet from the kit. And there is a little place for journaling on the back. And in here I did the same thing. I just gave it another little page. So even though this journal is little, it has a lot of writing space for you, where I have just went ahead and folded the pages so that you could have more journaling space. This just slips up under there. More parchment. This was a really cute image. I love the little rubber boots. I think they're so cute. And this had the little rubber boots on it. They are just darling. And then we have another little pocket. And I've just did a little fussy cut there and then added one of the little numbers there. And then I've got, another one of this journal created by Susie. And then another little, this one's the little deer. So cute. All the little snow on him. It's just darling. And that goes in the little pocket. Just a little grungy, messy journal is what it is. And then here is just a little, this is one of those file cards. You kind of journal on the back. And it's a very, very sturdy card. I had thought about almost just gluing it to the page and making a pocket, which you still could, and just have stuff slipped in on the side. And then that is it, guys, for the other little journal. Okay, this I had so much fun with right here. This little altered vintage Snowman journal, and that's how it's listed in the Etsy shop. I think I had altered book on it. So that is how it's listed. This is just so much fun. I just had a ball. So I just used some, it's very sturdy. I have got it nice and stiff there on the spine with how I put it together. So Then I just added some vintage crochet trim here, which I tea stained and coffee stained there to give it that little bit of darkness. And then here is the inside. You can see all these are just age spots. Those are natural age spots. I absolutely love this. And this is parts of the book as well. So you can see all the little age spots there. I wanted white on vintage, so this time I printed everything in white and just distressed around it. There's our winter memories. And then here is winter fun. And the pages are where they can still stick out. I don't know if you can see that or not. Right there I got a little bit stuck out. But most of them I tried to get where the pages weren't going to come past your edging there, so I made the pages actually a little smaller than the book, but I ended up still coming out a little bit. Now this book here does have a little bit of the musty smell. I cannot get it out, so know that this old book does have a little bit of musty smell to it. Probably the longer it sits out, it will disappear, but for the time being it does have a little bit of the musty smell to it. Here, this is some parchment that I really distressed and made grungy with some coffee and tea. Not parchment, onion skin. And then added the little word snowballs there. Here is a very vintage Classine envelope. I actually got this, I think something came in at Stamps or something when I was somewhere. I can't remember. Usually it's Stamps that come in those, but this is a very, very vintage little envelope. And then I've just added a little bit of the book there. So the book pages are in there, and then that just slips in there, and I have got it where it just paper clips to the page. And then another little collage. Here is some of that book page. You can see how spotted it is from the age. I don't remember the date on this book before I took it apart, but it is old. And then here is one of the sepia snowflakes as well. Just a little bit of a family fun. The boys in that snow fort. Here is just part of that envelope. This actually rips off those envelopes that I used. And you can kind of see the pages are brittle here on that. And then here's some more of that onion skin paper that I grunged up. And then here is a little bit of a flip out. And then in the center of the signature, it's two signatures, I added this little envelope here, and oops, if it didn't stick down. Uh-oh. I always try to make sure that, okay. Well, we'll have to put some vintage tape on that. I always try to make sure that it's dry, but somehow I still got that a little bit wet when I put that down in there. Here I've just made a little booklet. And there is that. And I will fix that envelope there. We'll just put some little age tape on it to fix the tear there. So that will just add to the character. And then here is a little bit of a collage. And there as well. Vintage music sheet. Here are some of those little scrappy tabs. I have a few of those left in the shop. I've been working hard at getting those in there. It seems like they're selling out pretty fast, but they just add a little bit of something. I've just got them listed as scrappy tabs. So, and then here is another one of those little envelopes, and here I've just made a little place to journal. So just a little journal and paper with some vintage lace there sewed at the top. Vintage trim. and it just overlaps the page. There's another little vintage or sepia snowflake there I've added. And here is another really brittle glassine envelope. It is so tinted from age, and I just made a really tiny booklet. There's another one of the pages, part of a page from the original book there. Did some little stitching in it. So I added a little piece of tape because it was kind of brittle there on the end. So I added that to keep it from tearing any. And then I added winter days there on the page. And then here is my little journal created by me. And then here is another stained up tag. Little pocket with the original book again. And then here is just a little flip right there. And then just a paper, that onion skin ruffle there, and another piece of grunged up tear off of that envelope. And there is the back. This was original to the book, so I left it there. I didn't cover it over. So there is that. It is just packed full. It might be little, but it is really packed full. So there are those, guys. They are in the Etsy shop. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed them. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.